The chairman of this very important occasion, retired General Abubakar Mahmud Gumi, the Vice Chancellor, Bayero University, Kano, Professor Haruna Musa, our father and the elder statesman, Professor Sheikh, the representative of the Governor of Kano State, Sheikh here present, the representative of the Kaduna State Governor, Barrister Aliu Tahir, the National Chairman of JIMWIPS, Jama'atu Izalatul Bid'ah wa Iqamatul Sunnah, our revered Sheikh Abdullah Balalau, of course, and the Secretary General Sheikh Abubakar Gumi, the representative of other very distinguished scholars here present, the representative of the Deputy Senate President, our own religious leader here present, Dr. Ahmed Gumi. Let me start on a personal note. The chairman of today's occasion requested that he be allowed to sit with Professor Ismail Ziga. It was indeed at that point that I noticed the presence of Dr. Ismail Ziga here. It's good to see you, sir, after so many years. Let me say that Professor Ismail Ziga taught me studies in biography as a master's degree student here in Bayero University, Kano, 35 years ago. 35 years ago, I was here as a student pursuing a master's degree in English. And I'm proud to say that Professor Ismail Ziga helped to shape my view of the studies in autobiography here. Thank you, sir. And I want to say that only yesterday in the evening, I didn't know I was going to come here. We're having a discussion with a mutual friend, and he was telling me about your ill health. I'm glad that I can see you here today, and I hope and I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you shifa. Let me say that it was about midnight yesterday that I got this directive to represent the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It was designed that the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, will be here in person today to represent His Excellency, Mr. President. However, because Mr. President was traveling to Turkey today, he directed that the National Security Advisor be on his entourage. And I was almost asleep when I was directed to ensure that I come to Kano this morning to represent Mr. President. Let me say that the President directed that under no circumstance should I not be present here today. He found it very awkward that he will not have a good representation because of the respect and the value that he placed on our revered late Islamic scholar Sheikh Mahmud Abubakar Gumi. Therefore, my presence here today is on that very strict directive of Mr. President, and the remarks I'm going to make here today are strictly those of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He has also asked that I extend his best wishes to first the family, the organizers, and the Bayero University community, and to assure you of his continued support and dedication to your cause. I now read Mr. President's remark as directed. First, let me appreciate the Center for Islamic Civilization and Interfaith Dialogue, Bayero University, Kano, the Sultan Bello Mosque, and the Jama'atu community for their consistent organization of this international conference, which continues to uphold the ideals of our nation's peace and unity through dialogue. I am therefore honored by this special invitation. By dedicating this conference to the legacy of one of Nigeria's most honorable gentlemen, the revered late Sheikh Mahmud Abubakar Gumi, a man who exemplified patience, justice, fairness, and who also speaks to the consciousness of the organizers of this conference in the noble task of sustaining our nationhood through mutual respect, through tolerance, and through patriotism. Sheikh Abubakar Mahmud Gumi was a scholar of gargantuan knowledge who, in addition to religious excellence, also understood the intersection of faith and politics and became a pillar and a front row influencer of our nation's political direction. He was there in the beginning and in the aftermath of our independence and the Civil War, also coordinated with authorities in this country and elsewhere to promote oneness and peaceful coexistence. Sheikh Gumi is first among equals. He was a teacher, a Qadi, a reformer, a leader, an advisor, and a prodigious writer who earned global recognition for his translation of the Holy Quran into Hausa. The 1987 King Faisal Award for Service to Islam firmly established Sheikh Gumi as one of Nigeria's earliest international honorees. He earned the sobriquet, the scholar's scholar, not only on the basis of his unrivaled scholarship, but also for mentoring numerous others to believe in the indivisibility of Nigeria, and in work and in worship, and he also a representation of governance. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we lay bare the immutable legacies of Sheikh Gumi, it behoves us as a collective to ponder the frailties of our nation and to strengthen our resolve for a more united country by deepening and broadening trust and coexistence in line with the teachings of Sheikh Gumi. This has become urgent and necessary in the light of recent attempts to misrepresent Nigeria as a country that does not tolerate religious freedom. This indeed is far from the truth. It is also far from the reality that we all face in this country. I also to embrace peace and tolerance and to promote faith initiatives. Our national security is tied to our unity, it is tied to our togetherness, it is also tied to respect that we all have for our religious diversity. We must forge a united front against those who challenge our national cohesion. We are in dear need of solidarity of purpose to safeguard our nation from criminal elements, from bandits, from terrorists whose reason deter is not tenable, and therefore we must resist their balkanizing intentions, but only through shared values and patriotism. My administration is working assiduously to protect life and property, and in executing the fight against terror that all of us have a responsibility to be part of, we must know that our unity cannot be toyed with. We are determined to entrench community policing through the instrument of the state police, for which I have encouraged all state governments to initiate, while the National Assembly attends to the constitutional imperatives that will make that achievable. We have deployed more than 7,000 trained forest guards to deny sanctuary to criminals who are parading our forests and their corridors. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, following my declaration of a national security emergency in November of 2025, we have since expanded and reinforced security in states badly affected by banditry and acts of terrorism. We have optimized intelligence-led operations and federal and state security operations to disrupt and dismantle terrorist and criminal networks wherever they may be in the length and breadth of this country. Our security alliance with the government of the United States of America is focused primarily on the fight against terrorism and the protection of vulnerable groups and communities. It is a strategic military cooperation that nonetheless respects the sovereignty of Nigeria, and the operation of this is being led by our national troops. Nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen, despite all that we do militarily as a nation, the path to lasting peace and unity lies in our resolve to respect one another, to cherish our religious and socio-cultural diversity, and to coexist amongst ourselves amicably. This is in the spirit of late Sheikh Mahmud Gumi. May Allah grant him Al-Jannah Firdaus. I want to wish you all a very successful dialogue in this conference with abundant outcomes and renewed faith for the peace and unity of Nigeria. These are the words of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that I have just delivered to all of you. God bless you all. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And let me add that I have asked that my own presentation be moved upward so that I can go back to Abuja and also to attend to other directives of Mr. President. I thank you all for listening and thank you for the invitation. May Allah bless this gathering, and may Allah also make us to see the teachings of Prophet Muhammad and all the blessings therein in the hereafter. Thank you very much.
That was the speech of His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, ECFR, ably represented by the Honorable Minister of Information and National Communication, Honorable Mahmud, FNIPR. Can we please give a rousing applause for our Minister and representative of our President? The Vice Chancellor